What's up, party people? It's Keys Dan with RadioWhat.com, DJLittleRock.com, coming to you live and in living color from the Radio What studios. And this is my podcast, What Makes You Smarter. It's an extension of the RadioWhat.com internet radio station that I've been running for quite some time. And if you need DJ services, where do you go? DJLittleRock.com, DJLittleRock.com. Check availability and get a free price quote. And maybe you can have me at your next event. And you can sing for me. Yeah, I do karaoke shows too. Weddings and parties and corporate events and all that kind of stuff. All the usual stuff you'd want some good music playing at. You know, I conform to you. I become who you want me to be. I'll play the music you want me to play. I'll be the entertainer that you want me to be. I conform to you. Speaking of you, if you would like to tell your story, I encourage you to check out my other podcast, What Makes You Famous. Find it everywhere using the hashtag What Makes You Famous. But for today, let's learn together on What Makes You Smarter. Now, on with the show. Today on the program, Operation Underworld. What was Operation Underworld? Well, let's get right into it. On the afternoon of February 9th, 1942, smoke billowed over Manhattan's west side as a fire consumed SS Normandy, a huge French luxury liner being converted into an American World War II troop transport. Although witnesses reported sparks from a worker's acetylene torch started the blaze, many feared Nazi saboteurs were to blame, particularly in light of the arrest of 33 German agents in the Duquesne spy ring only months earlier. In the Inferno's wake, the U.S. Office of Naval Intelligence became so concerned about enemy spies operating along New York's waterfront that it enlisted a most unlikely partner in the war effort, the Mafia. In March 1942, with the recruitment of Fulton Fish Market kingpin Joseph Sachs Lanza, naval intelligence officers launched the top secret, quote, Operation Underworld, end quote. Lanza agreed to furnish Union cards to agents operating undercover in the market and aboard coastal fishing fleets. Authorities were particularly concerned that pro-fascist sympathizers of Germany's top ally, Italian dictator Benito Mussolini, lurked among the Italian immigrants who worked as longshoremen in New York. However, Lanza explained that their cooperation could be secured by the imprisoned mobster Charles Lucky Luciano, who still wielded absolute power on the docks even after 6 years behind bars. With his top aide, Meyer Lansky, acting as an intermediary, Luciano agreed to assist the government and ordered his capos to act as lookouts and report any suspicious activity. Luciano's contacts even assisted in the Allies' 1943 amphibious invasion of Sicily by providing maps of the island's harbors, photographs of its coastline, and names of trusted contacts inside the Sicilian Mafia, who also wished to see Mussolini toppled. Still, with between 20 and 40 years left on his sentence, Luciano filed a petition for executive clemency on May 8, 1945, the same day World War II ended in Europe. Ironically, the man who had prosecuted the mobster a decade earlier, New York Governor Thomas E. Dewey, pardoned Luciano in January 1946 due to his assistance in the war effort and ordered him deported to his native Italy. The ultimate effectiveness of Operation Underworld has been questioned, but no other ships suffered the same fate as Normandy for the duration of World War II. This has been a little bit about Operation Underworld. Thank you so much for listening to What Makes You Smarter. If you'd like to tell your story or hear the stories of others, I encourage you to check out my other podcast, What Makes You Famous. Find it everywhere using the hashtag What Makes You Famous. That's it for me. It's Keys Dan, RadioWhat.com, DJLittleRock.com. Peace. I'm out of here. If you like what you hear, I encourage you to follow What Makes You Smarter on social media. Find it on Facebook at What Makes You Smarter, Instagram at What Makes You Smarter, Twitter at SmarterWhat, and YouTube, username Keys Dan. Leave What Makes You Smarter podcast a review and subscribe. Listen to What Makes You Smarter podcast on Spotify, iTunes, YouTube, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, and Podcast Addict. My personal favorite, learn with me on my podcast, What Makes You Smarter. And if you'd like to tell your story, I encourage you to check out my other podcast, What Makes You Famous. Find it everywhere using the hashtag, What Makes You Famous. Call 501-470-6386 and leave a message to set up a time for What Makes You Famous. Support What Makes You Smarter podcast using the PayPal, paypal.me/Keys Dan. Email info@radiowhat.com. What Makes You Smarter is a production of Keys Dan Enterprises Incorporated at keysdan.com. Thank you for listening.